Welcome back to Be the Trader. I want to talk about what my plan is for this week. Monday is tomorrow, which is the 18th of November, 2019. And I started off the first two episodes with me kind of feeling kind of down. And that's really where I'm at right now. I've been having a really hard time sticking to my rules. And I was reviewing my trades and looking at my profit chart, and for a while it's just uptrending, and then I've been stagnant for some time, and it's gotten to a point where I'm starting to break in the support and resistance levels, but more of the support level of my profit chart, which means I'm going in the wrong direction. And I attribute that to a lot of things. If I'm honest, it's because I'm trading all kinds of things instead of just sticking to my normal setups. And the problem with sticking to my normal setups isn't that they're hard to do, if you will. It's more of, I want to say patience, but I have patience. It's just, let's just say, for example, I have a overextended gap down strategy that I love very much. It's very profitable for me. I have a gap and crap strategy that works very well. I have a micro float strategy that I like to trade in the afternoon that works very well as well. And then I have a first red day kind of overextension play, which everyone knows about in trading. But the problem is they don't happen often. They come in spurts. And sometimes it can be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I'll be great for like a month, maybe 2-3 months, and then I'll go a span of 2 or 3 weeks, maybe just 2 weeks. Even 3 weeks of no trading because there's none of those setups, and I'll be fine. But then I don't know what happens. There's just that one day where you just don't stick to that plan anymore, and you're tired of waiting, and you start to trade. And that's what happened to me. I started to trade, and I think it's because, if I'm honest, I've been trying to break out of that range. You see, my profit chart has been stuck in a range, and I wanted to break the resistance, break upwards to new highs, but it hasn't. And it has to do with, the fact that I'm just so focused on that. It means I'm trying to, grow it and trying to make it get bigger. And when I found that consistency, I was slowly working my share size up, very slowly. I started at 100 shares, and then I went to, I believe, 200, then 300, and then 4, 5, all the way up to, 1,000, and then 2,000. But what's crazy is I was, if I'm honest, during this time, whenever I was trading so small, I had a broker that I love very much, but they charge a lot in terms of, they don't really charge a lot, but they charge commissions, and they charge their monthly charge, for their platform, which I use DAS Trader as my platform. Great platform, I love it. And then you got to play for borrows, especially if you're someone like me. I'm a short seller. I don't really long. Short selling is my forte. I've tried longing. It's just not for me. Longing is when you buy something low and you sell it high. Shorting is when you short something high and you buy it back low. And anyway, I think I'm going off on a tangent here, but the biggest thing that I'm trying to focus on this week is to get back on that path of discipline. And discipline means a lot of things for me. It means I'm not going to trade anything that isn't one of those setups that I mentioned. And if I do trade something, it's going to be a paper account, which I have opened. I've opened a paper account to test strategies. But it's funny. It's once you trade real money for some time, paper accounts they are not the same. And the emotion's not there. You don't really care. But I need to stick to this paper on these strategies I'm testing rather than my real money. And I try to tell myself, okay, well, test the strategies with real money, but really small, like risking $10 to make, $20, $30. So both don't matter, but at least it won't mess with my account. And in theory, that sounds great, and I think it's going to work, but it doesn't work for me. because whenever I take losses, no matter if they're $10, 100, 600, it doesn't matter what it is. It's the fact that I lost, and that's something I need to get better at as well. Is I'm okay with taking losses, like when it's one of my top 4 strategies, no problem. But for some reason, when I take losses on strategies that I'm not good at, it's like on those I want to be good at so bad that I keep retrading them to make my money back, to prove that I'm right, when I have no history of being right on those anyway to really back that up. It's so weird how your mind tries to really be right on something it has no clue on, but when it knows a strategy or knows something that it actually has defined parameters on what's right and what's wrong, it's easily to admit when you're wrong. And it's funny how that challenge is there. So that's what I'm going to be focused on this week. Tomorrow is Monday, the 18th of November. Actually, I have a couple of calls. I actually have one call with the company, knock on wood. Hopefully it goes really well, because I am looking for a place to start a career while I continue trading. And I've gotten to a point where now, because I've spent so time focused on trading, just day in, day out, that's the other thing. Like, when I first started, I was at my computer all day, and then when I found that consistency, and when I was consistent for months on end, small money, whatever, but I was only trading maybe sometimes 10 minutes and I'm done for the day. Maybe 30 minutes and I'm done for the entire day. And it's when I walked away and didn't look back is when I did well. But whenever I sat there all day and tried to find something is when I lost constantly. And that's something I got to get rid of. And so, I'm happy that I'm going to find some place to actually work consistently and, and not have that temptation, because that temptation can be tough. And it makes me think about the pattern day trader rule, which is a PDT rule. Basically what that means is if you have under 25,000 in your trading account, you can only make 3 day trades within a rolling 5-day period. If you hit 4, you get, I guess, lack for a better term, you get like blocked for 90 days or so from trading. But I actually, now looking back, because I never had to really be under that rule, and I think that might be a curse for me. I mean, not for everyone, but for me, I think it is, because I have that freedom to just do what I want. Especially when I first started and I had no clue what I was doing, and I was fortunate, I had a great career, so I was making good money, and I was just basically throwing money away, which was the dumbest thing in hindsight is what I see. And I didn't care. I was betting big, losing big, and just being stupid. But what I will say is, looking back now, if I would have been under the pattern day trader rule, and I only do 3 trades, with the perspective I have right now, that would have been great, right? But without going through that and realizing that right now, I probably been frustrated and been like, I'm so mad I can only trade 3 times. And I was. I mean, for a moment, I was under PDT only because I didn't know about it. And as soon as I found out about it, I unloaded my account. So I think it might be a gift. And here's why. Because now that I'm so ready, like Monday, I'm pumped. I'm ready to get this day started. That's why I wanted to record this, because I'm hopefully going to hold myself accountable by listening to this. But the biggest thing is when I look back and think of some traders who became successful rather quickly, and quickly is relative, but they all were under the PDT. And yes, of course, some of them opened multiple accounts, maybe 2 accounts on average, but some are 3 accounts where, each account had 3 trades. So let's say 6 trades sometimes. They were so limited to the amount of trades that they were focused on that. And because they were focused on that, I think they were more picky. And I think that helped them in the long run. And thinking about that gives me hope, because I'm really trying to focus on this week, just sticking to it. This week might place no trades, and that's okay. And I got to be ready to accept that. And I can accept that. I've done that before. That's not a problem. It becomes a problem whenever I get into the mindset of wanting to trade new stuff with real money. And if that happens, that's not going to happen this week. But what I will do is trade a paper account to test new strategies. I will do that. And I may talk about that. I mean, if I see a strategy that's working very well, which I have one that's I'm experimenting with, but I've been doing it with real money. So I'll do that with more of the paper account, which is a second day play, something that opens very strong but closes weak, right? Or even closes strong. So I'm watching both of those, something that closes 50% or higher. Based off of my tracking, they work very well about 70% of the time. So I'm going to test that out with paper account money. I'll call that strategy day one weak close above 50 or day one strong close above 50. So that's what I'm going to be focused on this week. Just trading my strategies, and I'm going to record. I'm going to record at the end of the episode, at the end of the day, see how I'm feeling. Did I place a trade? Did I not? And how am I feeling at that day? And really just go with that. But I'm excited because I think this is going to help. And I also believe that, when I did look at my profit chart today and it's going down in the opposite direction you don't want, that sucks, man. And it hurt. Like when I saw that, because I've been doing so well just trending upwards, that when I see it now break it down to the downside, I have to remind myself not to be so focused on that and not be focused on like, okay, I got to turn it around. Because if I focus on that, guess what's going to happen? I'll tell you, I'm going to force things. And I'm going to, every time I force something that doesn't make sense, it's going to be not a good result. And so I can't do that. I got to be relaxed, patient, and wait for the right opportunity. Whether that comes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or next week, right? I don't know when it's going to come, but I got to be ready for it and be patient. And that's what I'm waiting for. So I'm going to be ready for that this week, and we'll see what happens. But again, if you're liking this content, for sure, subscribe, hit the likes button, and give us a rating or review. This podcast should be live on all platforms now. And if it's not, just give it some time. It's taking some time to get approval, but I appreciate it again. Take care.